Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kiran Bendigeri from Grafosyss IAS. In this video, let's have a look at 6th standard social 6th chapter. So this is about rural administration. There are more than 6 lakh villages in India. Taking care of their needs for water, electricity, road connections is not a small task. In addition to this, land records have to be maintained and conflicts too need to be dealt with. A large machinery is in place to deal with all this. In this chapter, we will look at the work of 2 rural administrative officers in some detail. So first point we have to note that there are 6 lakh villages in India. So there are many needs for the people in villages, that is water, electricity, road connections and all. So these has to be developed and maintained. So a large machinery is in place. So in this chapter we will look at the work of 2 rural administrative officers in detail, right? So area of the police station. Every police station has an area that comes under its control. All persons in that area can report cases or inform the police about any theft, accident, injury, fight, etc. It is the responsibility of the police of that station to inquire, to investigate and take action on the cases within its area. So it's about the police station. So here people report cases about theft, accident, injury, fight and all, and it is the responsibility of police to inquire, investigate and solve the cases within its area. Measuring land and keeping land records is the main work of the patwari. The patwari is known by different names in different states. So measuring land and also keeping land records. So remember this thing, measuring land and keeping land records. It's about the land, right? So it is the work of patwari, the person designation. So the person's designation is patwari. The patwari is known by different names in different states. In some villages, such officers are called Lekpal. In others, Kanungo or Karmachari or village officer, etc. So there are many names to that person, that is Patwari, Lekpal, Kanungo, Karmachari or village officer. So in this context we will refer to him as Patwari. So each patwari is responsible for a group of villages. The patwari maintains and updates the records of the village. The patwari usually has ways of measuring agricultural fields. In some places a long chain is used. In the above instance, the patwari would have measured both Mohan's and Raghu's fields and compared them with the measurements on the map. If they did not match, then it would be clear that the boundary of the fields has been changed. So they will measure each land and they will have a record of it. So in case of conflict, then they will provide the details. The patwari is also responsible for organizing the collection of land revenue from the farmers and providing information to the government about the crops grown in this area. This is done from the records that are kept, and this is why it's important for the patwari to regularly update these. Farmers may change the crops grown on their fields, or someone may dig a well somewhere, and keeping track of all this is the work of the revenue department of the government. Senior people in this department supervise the patwari's work. So what the patwari does, what his responsibilities and all. So he provide information to the government about the crops grown in that particular area, and he will keep the records of the land in case of any conflict, and he keeps on updating those records, and he keeps off all the work done by a revenue department of the government and all. All states in India are divided into districts. For managing matters relating to land, these districts are further subdivided. These subdivisions of a district are known by different names such as tehsil, taluka, etc. At the head is the district collector, and under her are the revenue officers, also known as tehsildars. So remember, revenue officers, tehsildars. They have to hear disputes. They also supervise the work of the patwaris and ensure that records are properly kept and land revenue is collected. They make sure that the farmers can easily obtain a copy of the record. Students can obtain their caste certificates, etc. The tehsildar's office is where land disputes are also heard. So all the states in India are divided into districts. So under India there are many states, and in states there are many districts, and again districts are further subdivided. They are known as taluka, tehsil, etc. So there is district collector for each district, and under district collector there will be revenue officers. So those people are also known as tehsildars. Revenue officers is equal to tehsildars. So what their task is, they will hear the disputes, and they will also supervise the work of the patwaris and ensure that records are properly collected, properly kept, and also revenue, land revenue is properly collected. And they also make sure that farmer can easily obtain a copy of their record. Students can obtain their caste certificates and all. So if you want to know more about their responsibilities or work, you can search for tehsildars in Google, right? Farmers often require a copy of their land's record together with a map. They have a right to this information. They may have to pay a small fee for this. However, this information is not easily made available, and farmers sometimes have to face many problems to get it. In some states, records are now being computerized and also kept at the panchayat office, so that they are more easily available and regularly updated. So again the same thing is repeated, that farmers can obtain their copy of their land record, and they have this right to this information, and they have set some small fee for it, and it is being computerized everywhere in India. A farmer wants to buy a plot of land from another. A farmer wants to sell her produce to another. Farmer wants to loan from the bank to dig a well in her land. A farmer wants to purchase fertilizers for his field. A farmer wants to divide his property among his children. In these cases, he can use the land record, which can be obtained from a patwari, right? A daughter's wish. Often when we think of farmers who own land, we think of men. Women are seen as people who work on the fields, but not as people who own agricultural land. Till recently, in some states, Hindu women did not get a share in the family's agricultural land. After the death of the father, his property was divided equally among his sons. So women usually won't get her father's land share. Usually son or her brothers will get the share in his property. Recently the law was changed. In the new law, sons, daughters and their mothers can get an equal share in the land. The same law will apply to all states and union territories of the country. So now the law has been changed. Now daughters and also their mothers can get equal share in the land. This law will benefit a large number of women. For example, Sudha is the eldest daughter of an agricultural family. She is married and lives in a neighboring village. After her father's death, Sudha often comes to help her mother with the farming work. So this is one example which is given just to convey that message that even women will get land share. Her mother was has asked the Patwari to transfer the land and enter her name along with the names of all the children in his record. So her mother asked Patwari to transfer the land. Sudha's mother confidently organizes the farming with the help of the younger brother and sister. Similarly, Sudha also lives with the assurance that if she ever has a problem, she can always depend upon her share of the land. So if something unfortunate happens, then Sudha will get assurance. She will always have the assurance that she is having some property and she can leave. Other public services. A survey. This chapter has looked at some of the administrative work of the government, especially for rural areas. The first example related to maintaining law and order, and the second to maintaining land records. So first example, that is of the police, and second is of the Patwari and Tehsildar. So in the first case we examined the role of the police, and the second that of the Patwari. This work is supervised by the other people in the department, such as Tehsildar or the superintendent of police. Right. We have also seen how people use these services and some of the problems that they face. These services have to be used and made to function according to the laws that have been framed for them. You have probably seen many other public services and facilities provided by various departments of the government. So we have seen this practically, how these services are used by the people and also utilized by the public. So this is the end of the chapter. Thank you.